வாகை சூடவா.
Good morning children. In this lesson we are going to study about excretion. Okay. So what is called excretion? Removal of nitrogenous waste from our body is called excretion. Removal of nitrogenous waste from our body is called excretion or metabolic waste. Okay. Not only the nitrogenous waste, the metabolic waste is also there. What is called metabolism? Catabolism and anabolism. Both are combinedly called metabolism. Catabolism and anabolism combinedly called metabolism. Okay. In that catabolism, the food molecule start to break down. Okay. The digestion, end of the digestion, okay, end product of the digestion taken by the blood circulation and give it to the cells or tissues. Okay. There it will be break down and form the energy and produce the energy. Okay. When they are produce the energy, for example, glucose molecule divided into, or it will be break with the help of oxygen. When it breaks, automatically energy, carbon dioxide, water will be produced. So the carbon dioxide is one of the metabolic waste. The another one, when amino acid breaks, okay, when amino acid breaks, nitrogenous waste are formed. Okay, for example, urea, ammonia, like that thing will be formed. Okay, according to the organism. Okay, now we are going to study about the excretion. Okay, why the excretion should be occurs. Okay, so not only that excretion, the main organ is a kidney. Okay, so it maintains the internal equilibrium of our body. Okay, so kidney maintains the internal equilibrium of the body. Okay, usually the goal of homeostasis, okay, or internal equilibrium is set point. It is a set point. What is called set point? For example, in our blood, the particular serum glucose level is there, the same amount of calcium level is there maintained, the body temperature is also maintained. Okay. For example, serum glucose level, okay, in the serum glucose level 70 to 120 mg per deciliter of serum glucose should be there. Okay. Serum calcium level, okay, how much serum calcium is present? Okay, 8.6 to 10.2 milligram per deciliter. Okay. Another one is body temperature. Our body temperature is maintained as 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. So this is called set point. This is called set point. Anything changes in that, okay, any fluctuation from this set point, okay, immediately that signal will be given to the particular organ, which result in restoration, or automatically the maintaining of homeostasis will be occurs. Okay. Then the homeostasis is involved in three places. Okay. So one is osmoregulation, another one is nitrogen excretion, another one is inorganic regulation. Okay. The three things are there: osmoregulation, excretion of nitrogenous waste, and ionic regulation. All the three are very important. Okay. First one, we are going to see about the osmotic regulation. Okay. So osmotic regulation is a control of tissue osmotic pressure. Okay. In the tissue, osmotic pressure is maintained. That is very important because, okay, the absorption of the food substance or send the nitrogenous waste or exchange of thing, for all the thing, osmoregulation is very much important. The process regulates solute concentration and balance in the gain or loss of water is also occurs in the osmoregulation. Then, so this is achieved by the concentration of solute between the internal body fluids as well as the environment. Okay. According to that only they are start to do the osmoregulative function. Okay. For example, in the freshwater fishes, okay, in the freshwater fishes, osmoregulation, the body salinity of the fish is 14%. Okay. But in the freshwater fish, okay, 0% of the salt is present. About external environment, only 0% of salt. In the body of the fish, 14%. So automatically the water molecules move outside from the inside the body. To maintain that, the automatically the freshwater fish absorb the salt through the gills. Okay. Apart from that, normally the water is also keep on moving inside the body. So it will be used to remove the nitrogenous content by dilute urine. Okay, by dilute urine they used to remove the salt. Okay, then another one, when we see the marine water or saltwater fishes, example clownfish. Okay, here the salinity of the environment is only 14%, but salinity of salinity of fish is 14%, salinity of environment is 35%. So, what happened here, from the body the water molecules start to comes out. So, it excrete excess of salt from the body through the gill, it will be eliminated. Okay. When they are urinate, very concentrated urine will be removed. Okay, that type is, these two types are called osmoregulators. They are called osmoregulators. Another one is there, that is called osmoconformers. That is called osmoconformers. They never fluctuate, or according to the environment they can't able to stick on the concentration, but they can able to change their salt content in their body also. That is that type of organism called osmoconformers. Okay, ma. Here according to the, here you can see shark fish. Okay, here it is a osmoconformers. Then osmoregulators, that osmoregulators also divided into two types. Okay, one is called stenohalane, another one is euryhalane. Osmoregulators divided into two, one is stenohalane, another one is euryhalane. Stenohalane, okay, they can tolerate only narrow fluctuation of salt concentration. Okay, euryhalane, okay, animal can tolerate the wild fluctuation of salt concentration in that environment. Okay, so osmoregulators also two types, one is stenohalane, another one is euryhalane type. Okay, ma. Then excretion. Okay, so already I told about you, when the metabolism occurs, some of the excretory product, okay, waste product is also present. Okay, so they are ammonia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, water, iron, sodium, potassium, chlorine. Okay, like that different things are formed. Okay, they should be eliminated from the body. If it is there, it will be cause damage of the tissue. So, according to the excretory product, organism is also divided into aminotelic, ureotelic, uricotelic. Okay, aminotelic means the organism which live in waters, okay, or aquatic organism, they eliminate the nitrogenous waste as ammonia. They are called aminotelic animals. Okay, ureotelic. Okay, ureotelic means the organism can, for example, mammals, okay, terrestrial organism, they used to excrete the urea, nitrogenous waste is called urea as urine. So, they urea mixed with more amount of water, that type is called ureotelic. Then another one is there, that is called uricotelic. That uricotelic organism, for example, reptiles, birds and all, okay, or land snails, insect, all these organisms, okay, they eliminate very less amount of the water and nitrogenous waste, that and all called uric acids. Okay, uric acid crystals or uric acid paste. Likewise, they used to excrete. When you study about the excretory structures, okay, many organisms use different organs. For example, vertebrates. Okay, vertebrates usually kidney is the main excretory organ. For crustaceans, green glands and other antennal glands also there. Okay, all these are the excretory organs. For insect, Malpighian tubules. Okay, annelids, metanephridia. Then nematodes, rental cells. Okay, then platyhelminthes, flame cells. Like that, different organisms show different type of excretory organs. Okay, when we study about the human excretory system, the kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, okay, urethra, all these are present. Okay, not only that, okay, in the carbon dioxide, for removal of carbon dioxide, lungs also very much important. Okay, so usually we have two kidneys in our body. Okay, we have two kidneys, one is right side and another one is left side in the abdominal cavity. So, right kidney is little bit lower than the left kidney because the right side of the abdomen is occupied by the liver. Because of that, right kidney is little bit lower than the left kidney. Okay, ma. So, it is usually the outer side is little bit conical in structure, or it is convex in structure, inside concave in structure. In the concave region, the ureter is starts. Okay, all the blood vessels enter through that area only, that is called Hilles region. Through that only all the blood vessels, nerves, everything will be entered in that area. Okay. When we study about the internal structure of the kidney, outer cortex and internal medullas are there. Okay, inner medulla region usually having renal pyramid or medullary pyramids are present. Okay. Then in that cortex region, renal column of Bertini is also present. Okay. In the center of the concave surface of the kidney is called hilum, through which renal artery, renal vein, ureter, nerve are inverted. Okay, through that only they used to move. Then inner hilum is wide funnel shape called pelvis region. Okay, that funnel shape region you can see in the picture, that funnel shape region is called pelvis region. Okay, with projection called calyces, many small calyces and all there. Okay, ma. One of the important structure, okay, present in the kidney is nephron. Okay, it is a structural as well as functional unit. Okay, approximately each kidney has 1 million of structural and functional unit of kidney, that is called nephron. Okay, so nephron have different parts. Okay, here Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, proximal convoluted tube, distal convoluted tube, all these are present in the nephron. Okay, so nephron is also called urinal tubules. Okay, different types of nephrons are there. Okay, ma. Two types of nephron, one is cortical nephron, another one is juxtamedullary nephrons, cortical nephrons and juxtamedullary nephron. Here the cortical nephrons have very short Henle's loop, but the juxtamedullary nephron has very long Henle's loop. Henle's loop has two portions, one is descending loop, another one is ascending loop. Okay, ma. Then here both are having proximal convoluted tube and distal convoluted tube, they go and joined into the collecting duct. Then ornithine cycle is there. Okay, ornithine cycle is very important. Okay, end of the ornithine cycle, usually ornithine cycle occurs in the mitochondria. So when it is occurs in there, automatically urea is formed. In that time only urea cycle, this also called urea cycle. Ornithine cycle is also called urea cycle. Ornithine cycle, the nitrogenous waste formed as a result of breakdown of amino acid is converted into urea in the liver by ornithine cycle or urea cycle. Then here when we study about the mechanism of urine formation, glomerular filtration is occurs, then tubular reabsorption, then tubular secretion. Okay, after that it will be collected in the collecting duct. After that it will be sent into the duct of Bertini. Okay, here the counter current system is also present. Here counter current system is also present in the excretion of kidney. Okay, now we are going to see the neat questions. Antidiuretic hormone regulates the permeability of what? Antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone is also called vasopressin. Okay, here the proximal convoluted tube, second option is collecting tube and the distal convoluted tube, ascending limb of Henle's loop and descending limb of Henle's loop. Okay, antidiuretic hormone regulates the permeability of collecting tube and distal convoluted tube, collecting tube and distal convoluted tube. Okay, here antidiuretic hormone is also called vasopressin, secreted from the posterior lobe of the pituitary. Anterior lobe of the pituitary also secretes 6 hormones. Okay, among them 3 are somatotrophin, another 3 are gonadotrophins. But here posterior lobe of pituitary secrete two hormones, vasopressin and oxytocin. Oxytocin is very much important for the contraction of the uterus while childbirth. Here vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, it secrete from the pituitary. So, it causes reabsorption of water, that is very important. Reabsorption of water occurs in the urinal tubules. Here, which part of the urinal tubules? Collecting tube and distal convoluted tube. Okay. So, if it is not regulated properly, what is occur? Diuresis will occur, permeability and loss of water in urine, that is called diuresis. Hence, the name is called antidiuretic hormone. Hence, the name is called antidiuretic hormone. If the antidiuretic hormone is not there, diuresis will be occurs, more amount of urination. Against the more amount of urination, so it is called antidiuretic hormone. The next question, which one of the following correctly explain the function of specific part of human nephron? First one, Henle's loop, the most reabsorption of the major substance from the glomerular filtrate. The second one, distal convoluted tube, reabsorption of iron into the surrounding tubule, blood capillaries. The third one, afferent arterioles, carries the blood away from the glomerulus towards the renal vein. Fourth one, podocytes, creates minute space, slit pores for the filtration of blood into the Bowman's capsule. Okay. The podocyte is a correct answer. Okay. Create minute spaces for the filtration of blood into the Bowman's capsule. Okay. Where the podocytes are present? Podocytes, also called visceral epithelial cells, or the cells in the Bowman's capsule. They are present in the Bowman's capsule of the kidney that warp around the capillaries of glomerulus. Okay. They create minute pores. That call slit pores for the filtration of blood into the Bowman's capsule. The next one, uricotelic mode of passing out nitrogenous waste is found in birds and annelids, or amphibian and reptiles, insect and amphibian, reptiles and birds. Uricotelic means they are eliminate less concentrated urine. Okay. So, no water content is there or less water content is there. Pellets or paste like thing, it will be removed. Okay. For answer is reptile and birds. Reptiles, birds, land snails, insect. Okay. They used to excrete uric acid in the form of pellet or paste with the minimum loss of water and are called uricotelic animals. They are called uricotelic animals. Which one of the following statement is correct with respect of kidney function regulation? Okay. Fourth question, exposure to cold temperature stimulate the antidiuretic hormone release. Okay. Exposure of cold temperature. The second one, an increase in glomerular blood flow stimulates formation of angiotensin II. During summer, when body lost lot of water by evaporation, the release of antidiuretic hormone is suppressed. When someone drink lot of water, antidiuretic hormone release is stopped. So, when we drink lot amount of water, what happen? Okay, our body gets more amount of water. So, when someone drinks lot of water, antidiuretic hormone release is stopped. Okay. So, it should be excrete more amount of water from the body. So, antidiuretic hormone never acts on there. So, their secretion will be reduced or it stops. Okay. When someone drinks lot of water which is not required by the body, the osmolarity of the blood decreases. The decrease in osmolarity will inhibit the release of antidiuretic hormone. It is also called vasopressin. Okay. The fifth question, choose the correct statement. Choose the correct statement. The juxtamedullary nephron have reduced Henle's loop. The second one, vasa recta is well developed in cortical nephrons. The proximal convoluted tube and the distal convoluted tube are situated in medulla of the kidney. The glomerulus enclose the Bowman's capsule. The ascending limb of Henle's loop extends as a distal convoluted tube. The last option is correct. The ascending limb of the Henle's loop extends as a distal convoluted tube. Okay. Reason: the ascending limb of Henle's loop continuation of another highly coiled tubular region called distal convoluted. This is the structure of nephron. What about the juxtamedullary nephron? They have long Henle's loop. In that option, they are giving short Henle's loop. Vasa recta is absent or highly reduced in the cortical nephrons. Okay. So, in the cortical nephrons, highly reduced, okay, or is absent, but they are in that option, they are giving it is a longer one. It is a longer one. For see, vasa recta is well developed in cortical nephrons. Okay. It is a wrong answer. Then Bowman's capsule enclosed the glomerulus. In the option, they gave glomerulus enclosed by the Bowman capsule. Okay. The Malpighian capsule, proximal convoluted tube and distal convoluted tubes are situated in the cortical region of the kidney, whereas Henle's loop in the medulla. Okay. Only Henle's loop in the medulla. In that option, they give proximal convoluted tube and distal convoluted tube in the medulla. Okay. So, it is also wrong answer. The correct answer is the ascending limb of Henle's loop extends as the distal convoluted tube. Now, the sixth question. The condition where urea accumulates in blood is, the condition where urea accumulates in blood is glycosuria, uremia, ketonuria, acidosis, anemia. Okay, which is correct? Uremia is correct. The malfunctioning of kidney can lead to accumulation of urea in the blood. Okay, this condition is called uremia. So, accumulation of urea. When accumulation of urea is occurs, okay, any problem in kidney, okay, kidney failure is occurs, that time kidney can't able to remove the urea from the blood. So, automatically accumulation of urea in the blood will be occurs, okay, which is very harmful and may leads to kidney failure. In such patient, okay, urea can be removed by a process called hemodialysis, okay, the artificial kidney. The next one, the waste products in man which need to be excreted are, what are the waste product? Carbon dioxide, urea and salt, excess of water, which should be removed. Carbon dioxide, that also should be removed. Urea and salt, excess salt, that also will be removed. Excess of water, that also should be removed. So, all of these should be removed from the body. Okay. So, excretion is elimination of metabolic waste. Okay. What are the metabolic waste are there? Whether it is carbon dioxide or it is a urea or excess amount of the water, all should be removed from the body. Okay. Usually the carbon dioxide is removed through respiratory organ, lungs. Okay. The common excretory product of man is carbon dioxide, minerals, salt, urea, water, pigments, etc. All these should be removed from our body. Okay, then the human kidney. Okay, the human kidney is responsible for the storage of nutrients such as glycogen. This is the first option. Second option, concentrates the urine by actively transporting water out of the filtrate. This is the second option. Third option, produce more dilute urine when the collecting duct become less permeable to water. Then fourth option is respond to antidiuretic hormone by increasing urine output. Okay. So, when we see the kidney, the third option is correct. Okay. Produce more dilute urine when the collecting duct become less permeable to water. If it is less permeable, more amount of water will be removed. Okay, more permeable, less amount of the water will be removed. Okay, from the distal convoluted tube, the filtrate enters the collecting tube where the further reabsorption of the water takes place. Okay, now the filtrate become more concentrated, which make the urine hypertonic. Okay, when the collecting duct become less permeable, water produce, more dilute urine will be produced. Then the next question. Physiologically, urea is produced by the action of dash enzyme. What enzyme? Arginase or urease or uricase? None of this. Okay, these are the options. Okay, arginase is the correct option. Urea cycle takes place in the liver, ornithine cycle. Already we studied. Okay, ornithine cycle occurs in the liver cells with the hydrolytic enzyme called arginase. What is the name of that enzyme? Arginase. Arginase only split arginine into urea and ornithine with the elimination of water molecules. So, arginase is the correct option for the physiologically urea is produced. Okay, they are the enzyme. Which enzyme is used? Arginase is used. Then glucose and amino acids are reabsorbed in, okay, glucose and amino acid, okay, both are very important thing, okay, where they are reabsorbed, proximal tube, distal tube, collecting tube or Henle's loop, okay, which part of the nephron it is absorbed? Proximal convoluted tube. The first part is because glucose and amino acids are very important. So, the first part of the nephron itself, the proximal convoluted tube, that is the first part, it absorbs glucose as well as amino acid. Proximal convoluted tube of nephron is pivotal site for reabsorption of glucose, amino acids, sodium, potassium by active transport. What is called active transport? They are spend the energy to absorb all these things, because these are very important things. So, they are spend the energy to absorb all that thing, that is called active transport. Okay, nearing 80% of water is reabsorbed in that proximal convoluted tube, but that type of transportation is called, or absorption is called, passive transportation method. So, in the proximal convoluted tube, two type of transportation is occurs. One is active transportation, another one is passive transportation. Active transportation occurs means, okay, because of glucose, amino acid, sodium, potassium, all these are absorbed. The passive transportation, only water molecules, 80% of the water molecules are absorbed. The next one is, which one of the following statement related to the excretion by the human kidney is correct? Okay, excretion by the human kidney. Descending limb of loop of Henle is impermeable to water, the first option. The second, distal convoluted tube is incapable of reabsorbing HCO3. Then nearly 99% of the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed by the renal tubules. Ascending limb of the loop of Henle is impermeable to electrolytes, okay, which is correct. Nearly 99% of the glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed in the renal tubules. Which one? 99% of glomerular filtrate. Okay. So, usually 180 liters will be entered inside that. Okay, it absorb all the thing, only 1.5 liters only will be eliminated. So, approximately 99% is absorbed. The plasma fluid that filtrate out from the glomerular capillaries into Bowman's capsule of nephron is called glomerular filtrate. Okay, what are the thing enter from the glomerular to Bowman's capsule, that is called glomerular filtrate. Okay, so usually 180 liter per day. The filtrate is 180 liters. How much it will be reabsorbed? Most of 99% will be reabsorbed, and finally urine released is 1.5 liters, suggests that nearly 99% of the filtrate has been reabsorbed in the renal tubules. This process is called reabsorption. This process is called reabsorption. Okay, we will move on to the next question. What will happen if the stretch receptors of urinary bladder wall are totally removed? Okay. So, usually in our urinary bladder, stretch receptors are there, stretch receptors are there. If it is removed, totally removed from our urinary bladder, what will be happened? Okay. The first one, urine will not collect in the bladder, this is the first option. The second option, menstruation will continue. Menstruation, urination will be continue. The next one, urine will continue to collect normally in the bladder. Another one, urine will not form. Okay, 4 options are there. Which is correct? Urine will continue to collect in the normal urinary bladder. This is the correct option. But if there is any problem is there, Yes, the lumen of the urinary bladder is lined by transition epithelium, that is called epithelial cell. They have only the power of stretching, great power of stretching in the urinary bladder is there. If it is not there, the stretching of urinary bladder won't be there, but collection of the urine will be occurs normally. Okay. If the stretched receptor of the urinary bladder wall are totally removed, the urine will continue to collect normally in the bladder. So, continually the collection will be there because no stretch is there. Then angiotensinogen. You know angiotensin. Here they are telling about the angiotensinogen is a protein produced and secreted by macula densa cell, epithelial cell, liver cell, juxtaglomerular cell. Okay, the 4 cells are given. Okay, angiotensinogen. Okay, secreted in the liver cells. Angiotensinogen is a protein is secreted in the liver cell. Okay, angiotensin is a inactive precursor. Okay, inactive precursor of angiotensin. Angiotensin is the active one. Okay, but angiotensinogen is a inactive one. Okay, that angiotensinogen convert into angiotensin with the help of renin. The enzyme renin convert the angiotensinogen into angiotensin. Okay. Then ornithine cycle. In ornithine cycle, which of the following waste are removed from the blood? Which of the following waste are removed? Okay. Urea and urine, ammonia and urea, carbon dioxide and ammonia, carbon dioxide and urea. Okay. In the ornithine cycle, which of the following waste is removed from the blood? Okay. So, answer is carbon dioxide and ammonia. What is removed? Carbon dioxide and ammonia is removed in the ornithine cycle. Okay. Ornithine cycle is also called urea cycle. Ornithine cycle is also called urea cycle. Is a cyclic biochemical pathway in the liver cells of mammals. All the mammals having the one cyclic changes or cyclic biochemical pathway is there, that is present in the liver, that is called ornithine cycle, or it is also called urea cycle, in which excess ammonia, okay, produced from the breakdown of amino acid. What is released? Ammonia is released. Okay. When ammonia is produced, amino acid is breaked. When amino acid is breaks, ammonia is formed. Okay. And carbon dioxide is also formed. That carbon dioxide react together to give urea, which is filtered out in the kidney and it will be excreted. Okay. So, in that ornithine cycle, carbon dioxide and ammonia is formed. Okay. The next question is Malpighian tubules. Okay. What is called Malpighian tubules? Here Malpighian tubules are excretory organ of insects, excretory organ of frog. The next option is excretory organ of frog, respiratory organ of insect, endocrine gland of insect. In mammals, usually kidney is the excretory organ. Here the Malpighian tubules. Okay, which organism having Malpighian tubule as a excretory organ? Here excretory organ of insect is called Malpighian tubules, or Malpighian tubules present in all the insects. Okay, reason. Okay, Malpighian tubules are the excretory organ of insect. These tubules absorb excretory substance, okay, from the hemolymph. What is called hemolymph? Hemolymph is a colorless blood. Usually all the insects having colorless blood. All the arthropods have the colorless blood only. The colorless blood is called hemolymph, and from the hemolymph and the fat bodies and pass into the proctodeum. Okay, proctodeum. Okay, in the proctodeum, okay, all the excretory things are come and stored. Okay, that is called excretory organ of insect is Malpighian tubules. The next one is average pH of human urine. Okay, the pH is very important. Okay, here average pH of human urine is 6. That is mean it is acidic in nature. Here they are giving different option 6, 9, 3, 7. 7 is a normal pH. Okay, not acidity, not saline. Okay, but 9 is a alkalinity. 3 is a very acidic, but 6 is also acidic. So, human urine is acidic in nature, okay, slightly acidic. Normal urine is slightly acidic. Variation in the pH of the urine, okay. So, it is related with the diet. If we are taking the protein diet, okay, if you are taking the protein diet, okay, high protein diet increase the acidity. Okay, high protein diet increase the acidity in the urine. Suppose if you are taking very only the vegetable foods, okay, less in protein, okay, if you are take, automatically the urine pH of the urine will be changed into alkalinity. So, usually acidity, if you take more amount of the proteinous diet, again the acidity will be increases. If you are taking the vegetable food, alkalinity will be increases. That is means acidity will be reduced, alkalinity will be increases. Then next one is hemodialysis, okay, helps in patient having uremia, anemia, diabetes and goiter. Okay. So, usually hemodialysis help in patients having uremia. What is called uremia? Usually accumulation of urea in the blood is called uremia. Okay. So, hemodialysis is very much important. Okay. Hemodialysis help in the patient suffering from the uremia. In this condition, excretory product, that is called urea, go on accumulate on the blood. That should be removed. That should be removed. Okay. Why it will be accumulated? So, in the blood already the urea is there, kidney is failed to remove the nitrogenous waste from the blood. So, automatically accumulation of the urea is present inside the blood, or in the blood accumulation of urea is there, that should be removed. So, artificial kidney, or it is also called hemodialyzer, is used. Okay, here the patient's blood pass through the disposal dialyzer, and okay, it will be passed from the, take the blood from the artery, again it will be come back and inject inside the intravenous route. Okay, then the next one is the smell of the urine due to, okay, sometimes usually the urine has some smell. Okay, how it is formed? Okay, urochrome, urinode, urea, melanin. Okay, they are giving 4 options. One is urochrome, another one is urinode, another option is urea, and another option is melanin. Okay, because of what the smell is occurs? Urinode. Okay, because of urinode, okay, urine gets a smell. Okay, urine is a transparent, okay, usually light yellow liquid, transparent only, but slight yellowish color with slightly acidic in nature. Already we studied, it is pH of 6 is there. Okay. The pungent smell, why the pungent smell come? Pungent smell of urine is due to the urinode, while the color of the urine because of the pigment urochrome. So, color because of the urochrome, the pungent smell because of urinode. Okay, ma? Then the next question, which of the following is correct with reference to hemodialysis? Okay, here also we are going to study about the hemodialysis. Observe and resent excess of ions. The dialysis unit has a coil cellophane tape. The blood is pumped back through the suitable artery after hemodialysis. Antiheparinase adder prior to hemodialysis. Then nitrogenous waste are removed by active transport. Which is correct? Okay, the dialyzer unit has a coiled cellophane tape. Here hemodialyzer is also known as blood dialyzer. Hemodialyzer is also called blood dialyzer or artificial kidney. Okay, where it is used, okay, where the kidney failure is occur, or renal failure. Kidney failure is also called renal failure. It consists of cellophane tapes. So, here the reference with the hemodialysis is the dialysis unit has a coiled cellophane tapes. Then the next one is, which is not a renal function? Which is not a renal function? Reabsorption, secretion, perfusion, filtration. Okay, here 3 events are given. Okay, reabsorption. Usually the function of kidney is reabsorption. the secretion of the things also occurs. First part is a filtration, okay, filtration, reabsorption, then secretion is occurs. So, all the three functions of renal function. Perfusion is not the renal function. Usually, all other three functions are occurs in the kidney, urinal tubules or nephron of the kidney. Nephron consists of Malpighian capsules or renal capsule and renal tubules. Okay. Here the basic renal function are filtration, reabsorption and secretion, not the perfusion. So, odd one is perfusion. So, it is a correct answer. Then kidney of the mammals resemble to the contractile vacuole of the amoeba in expelling out. Usually amoeba, okay, for example, options salt, glucose, excess water, urea and uric acid. What are the things? First one is salt, second option is glucose, third option is excess water, fourth option is urea and uric acid. Amoeba expel out usually excess amount of water. Okay. So, excess water, both are osmoregulatory in function. So, contractile vacuole of the amoeba and kidney of the mammal, both are doing the osmoregulatory function. Here amoeba, okay. What about amoeba? So, amoeba is a freshwater organism. Inside the cell, the concentration, cellular concentration is more than the environmental concentration. So, automatically from the lower concentration, higher concentration, water will be enter continuously. So, it is a chance to bursting of the amoeba will be occurs. To avoid that, amoeba produce contractile vacuole. Amoeba produce contractile vacuole. That contractile vacuole collect all the water molecules, come to the border of the amoeba and burst it out. Continuously it do collect the water and burst it in the outside the environment. So, the same way the kidney also remove the excess water from our body. They are both are osmoregulatory in function. The next one is Bidus canal is found in testis of frog, kidney of frog, ovary of mammal, kidney of mammal, where the Bidus canal is present. Okay. The Bidus canal is present in the kidney of the frog. Okay. From the testis, the one tube will be erased. Okay. So, usually the vas deferens enter into the Bidus canal, then it will be come into the urinary genital tract. Inner margin of the kidney of male frog, inner margin of the kidney of the male frog, not the female frog, okay, consists a longitudinal Bidus canal conducting sperm to the urinogenital tract. From the testis, the Bidus canal, it comes to the Bidus canal, then it will be moved into the urinogenital duct. So, it is present in the male frog of kidney of male frog. Okay, Bidus canal is present in the male kidney of male frog. Then bird differs from the reptile in the absence of, okay, birds differ from the reptiles. Okay, usually both are eukaryotic organism. Okay, tail, kidney, nephron or urinary bladder. First option is tail. Both are having tail, both are having kidney, both are having nephron. What about urinary bladder? Urinary bladder is absent in birds. Urinary bladder is absent in birds. Okay. So, they won't store the urine. Okay. Whenever it comes, it will be expel it out. Okay. So, birds doesn't have the urinary bladder. Then 24th question, person suffering from muscular dystrophy. The person suffering from muscular dystrophy eliminates a great amount of dash in urine. Okay. Muscular dystrophy person eliminates something more in urine. What is water or glucose or sulfate or creatinine? Water, glucose, sulfate or creatinine. Okay. Creatinine is the correct answer. Creatinine is the correct answer. The muscular dystrophy refers to the group of genetically transmitted diseases resulting in the progressive atrophy of muscles. Okay, it is a genetical disorder. Because of that, okay, progressive atrophy of muscle will be occurs. They can't, person can't able to do the work properly. So muscular dystrophy will be occurs. That type of patient, okay, here the breakdown of muscle, because of the breakdown of muscle, to eliminate the creatinine through urine. So more amount of creatinine will be excreted through the urine. The person suffering from the muscular dystrophy used to eliminate more amount of or great amount of creatinine in the urine. The next one is called glomerular filtrate, will not contain normally. Glomerular filtrate will not contain glucose, albumin, creatinine, sodium chloride, which is glucose usually enter, creatinine is also enter, it should be removed. So, it should be filtered, glucose also filter and reabsorbed, sodium chloride that also will be filtered and reabsorbed. What about albumin? Answer is albumin only. Why? It is a larger molecule. Okay, so because albumin is a protein, is a amino acid. Now, okay, here it is a larger molecular size. The protein like albumin are not filtered. Okay, albumin present in the blood, white yolk of the birds also having albumin. Okay, here in the blood, from the blood, albumin never filtered. Albumin never filtered because of the larger size. Then 26th question, if excess water passes out from the tissue without being restored by kidneys, the cells would shrivel and die, burst open and die, will not affect at all extra water from the plasma. Do you understand the question? If excess water passes out from the tissue, okay, so that is means the removal of more water from our body, what will be happen? The cells will shrivel and die, or it will be contract and die, burst open and die, not be affect at all, it won't be affect extra water from plasma. It will be extract the water from the plasma. What will be occurs? The first option, shrivel and die, because excess of water will be removed from the cell. What happened? Dehydration of the cell will be occurs. When dehydration is there, automatically cell will be shrivel and it will die. Then 27th question, the yellow color of the urine is due to, already we studied the smell because of what? Okay, uridine. Here the color because of urochrome, color because of urochrome. Here option is urea, bilirubin, uric acid, urochrome. Okay, 4 options are there. Among that, urochrome gave the yellow color, characteristic yellow color for the urine. Yellow color of the urine is due to urochrome, a pigment derived from destruction of hemoglobin. Usually the hemoglobin will be destructed. Okay, usually the life cycle of RBC is 120 days. After 120 days, it will be destructed. Okay, the hemoglobin also destructed. So because of the destruction of the hemoglobin, okay, it is present in the blood by reticuloendothelial cells. Automatically, it will be removed through the excretory organ, that's called kidney. So that is called, that give the characteristic color for the urine, that is called urochrome. The next one of the following substance is not found in mammalian urine. Which is not found in mammalian urine? Water, sucrose, ammonium salt, sodium chloride. Among them, which is not present in the mammalian urine? Mammalian urine, water is present. Ammonium salt is also, ammonia is present, ammonium salt is present. Sodium chloride is also salty nature, sodium chloride is also present. Sucrose is not present. Why sucrose is not present? Sucrose is a disaccharide. Sucrose is a disaccharide. Sucrose is not found in blood also. Okay, only the glucose is present in the blood. So sucrose is not found in the blood. So the removal of the sucrose won't be occurs in the kidney. So automatically in the urine, sucrose is not present. Then the next question, the 29th question, what will happen if one kidney is removed? Okay, suppose one kidney is removed, we are donating the kidney, any problem will be occurs. what will happen if one kidney is removed from the body of the human being. Okay. So, they are giving 4 options. One is uremia and death. Uremia and death may be occurs. Uremia means accumulation of urea in the blood, and finally death will be occurs. Stoppage of urination, the person can't able to urinate. Then death due to the poisoning. Okay, the poisoning of the blood will be occurs, and the person will be die. Nothing, the person will survive and remain normal. Okay. We see many of the people will usually donate the kidney, so they won't die. So, nothing will be happen, the person will survive and remain normal, but some reasons problems are there. Okay, you can see the kidney which is left out in the body undergoes enlargement. Okay. So, which kidney, one kidney is performing means automatically some enlargement is occurs. Okay. Why? It carries the extra work of missing kidney. So, the 2 kidneys are working, among them now one kidney is not there, only one kidney is there, that kidney doing the both the work of the kidneys. So, automatically it will be little bit enlarged. Okay. So, this is called compensatory hypertrophy. This condition is called compensatory hypertrophy. Then next one is, which one of the following is a disease of kidney. Okay. Here different diseases are there. Here they are mentioned 4 diseases: Graves disease, Bright's disease, Addison's disease, Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease, Addison disease, Bright disease and Graves disease, like that 4 different types of diseases are there. Okay. Now, the Bright's disease is a disease which affect the kidney. Bright disease named after the English physician Richard Bright. Bright's name only given for the Bright disease. Okay. He observed a term of glomerulonephritis. Okay. The nephritis occurs in the glomerulus. He is found it out. Okay. What is called glomerulonephritis? Acute inflammation of the kidney. Acute means sudden, inflammation means painful swelling. The painful swelling, suddenly the painful swelling occurs in the kidney, that is called glomerulonephritis. Okay. That glomerulonephritis is also called Bright disease. Okay. Typically caused by an immune response, because of the immune response, autoimmune disease. This is also called autoimmune disease. Okay. Here already we studied all the things. Okay. So, the hormones present in the involved in the excretion, which part, what are the parts involved in the excretion. Okay. What is called metabolic waste. Okay. Then what is called osmoregulation. Okay. Everything we studied in this module. Okay. Different types of questions will be asked. Okay. The same questions only. Okay. The same metabolic waste, the same kidney, the same function, same ornithine cycle. So, everything will be there. The question may be little bit altered, and they used to ask. Here again we are come for the antidiuretic hormone. Okay. They may be asked, instead of antidiuretic hormone, they may put the vasopressin. Okay. Vasopressin regulates the permeability of, they may ask like that, vasopressin regulate the permeability of, or what is the function of vasopressin. Okay. The same option also they may give, the proximal convoluted tube or the collecting tube and distal convoluted tube, ascending limb of limbs or descending limb of Henle's loop. Okay. Anything they can give. Okay. So, we have to check which is exactly correct. Okay. That answer we have to give. So, antidiuretic hormone regulates the permeability of collecting tubules and distal convoluted tube. There only more amount of water will be reabsorbed. Okay. Water will be reabsorbed. Okay. So, if it is antidiuretic hormone is not functioning, what happened? Okay. So, the permeability won't be occurs, automatically more urination will be occurs, okay, more amount of urination will be occurs, okay, dehydration will be occurs in the body. So, that is called more amount of urination or loss of more amount of water from the body is called diuresis. Okay. That should be avoided, that should be avoided. So, that antidiuretic hormone from our posterior part of the pituitary will come and secrete secrete, and come, it will be come and act on the kidney. So, automatically which part of the kidney? In the nephron. Which part of the nephron are urinary tubules, collecting tubules, and the distal tubule, convoluted tubes. There it will be act. Automatically the permeability will be regulate the permeability, and it will maintain the loss of water in the urine, okay, as urine. Okay. So, diuresis will be avoided, okay, ma. So, it is called antidiuretic hormone. Okay. Then, so uricotelic modes of passing out of nitrogenous waste. Okay. The organism usually give the 3 different modes of passing out of nitrogenous waste. One is uricotelic, ureotelic, and aminotelic. Uricotelic, ureotelic, and aminotelic. Okay. First one is aminotelic. Aminotelic means all the organism, for example, aquatic organism, fishes. Okay. When we see the fishes, okay, ammonia is a very highly poisonous one. Okay. They used to eliminate the nitrogenous waste. Ammonia is a nitrogenous waste. So, usually in the gill region or the urine, they used to remove the nitrogenous waste. Okay. They are called aminotelic. Most of the fishes excretory is ammonia. So, that type of excretion is called aminotelic excretion. That type of organism is called aminotelic organism. Then another one is called ureotelic. Okay, not urico, ureotelic. Ureotelic organism, for example, mammals. Okay, usually the mammals excrete the urine. Okay, here urea with more amount of water will be accumulated and removed from the body. So, it is very less toxic. Okay. That type of removal of urine from the body as a excretory product, that is called ureotelic organism. Another one organism is there, that is called uricotelic organism, or mode of passing out nitrogenous waste. Uricotelic. Uricotelic usually more concentrated urine, maybe the pellets. Okay, usually the lizard pellets and all you may see, the one black spot and the white spot and all, you know, that is called ureotelic mode of excretion. Okay. So, ureotelic mode means uric acid crystal. They used to remove the uric acid crystals, or sometimes the paste like things. Okay. So, for example, reptiles and birds, usually the reptiles, the crystals they used to leave. The birds usually the paste like thing usually thing. Okay. You can see many times the car advertisement and all, you can see you have to park the car in the a safer place, otherwise the birds will come and it will be bleach the car, color of the car. Why? Because it contains uric acid, it contains uric acid. Okay, ma. Then, so the reptiles and birds excreta is uric acid. So, that mode of nitrogenous passing out of the nitrogenous waste is called uricotelic mode of excretion. So, which one of the following statement is correct? Already we discussed this. Here, if you take more amount of water, okay, here again antidiuretic hormone. If we are drinking less amount of water, what happen? Okay, we can't remove more amount of water. So, if you are drinking less amount of the water in our body, we have only less amount of the water. What happen? Immediately antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin from our posterior part of the pituitary, okay, come and stimulate the urinary tubules and okay, distal convoluted tubule and collecting tubule to absorb the water. So, already we have only less amount of the water. So, it should be reabsorbed. We need the water. Immediately they will come and reabsorb the water. So, maintain the water content in our body. Suppose excess water in there, they won't secrete. Automatically our body, that distal convoluted tube and the collecting duct never absorb the water, it will be sent out from our body. Okay, ma. Then, so according to the need, okay, you have to think one thing, keep in mind in one thing. So, many questions are given, you know the answer, but you may be confused. First of all, whenever you read the question, okay, you have to understand the question. First you understand the question. No, don't see the answers first. Read the question many times. You can read and understand the question first. Then you have to recollect the answer. Okay. Then you can see the questions, options. Then only you can easily understand. Otherwise, you will be confused. Okay. What you have to do? First, read the question, understand the question. Then you can go for the options. Your option is there. If you are not read the question properly, first you go and see the options means, or you can see all the answers are, or all the options are almost same. Okay, you will be confused. Because to avoid confuse, first you know collect the answer from your brain, then you go for the options. That is the best thing. Then you can keep on read the books. That is very important. Your textbook itself you can read. From there only most of the NEET questions used to come. Okay, children. Okay, we are coming to the end of our section. Then we will meet in another section. Okay, so all the best. Do well. Okay. Okay, all the best, children. Do well in your examination. Okay, we will see you as your doctors. All the best.
இந்நிகழ்ச்சியை பற்றிய தங்களின் மேலான கருத்துக்களை கீழ்க்கண்ட முகவரிக்கு கடிதம் மூலமாகவோ, மின்னஞ்சல் மூலமாகவோ, குறுஞ்செய்தி மூலமாகவோ தெரியப்படுத்தலாம். அனுப்ப வேண்டிய முகவரி: சிறப்பு அலுவலர், கல்வி தொலைக்காட்சி, 8ஆம் தளம், அண்ணா நூற்றாண்டு நூலகம், காந்தி மண்டப சாலை, கோட்டூர்புரம், சென்னை 6085. தொலைபேசி எண் 7824015000.